Welcome people of the World Wide Web. So it's middle of week and normally it's look what I'm watching, but I've got something a little different for you this week. Let's back up a little bit. So this video, I'm actually on holiday, so I pre-recorded this. So I thought I'd do something a little bit different rather than look what I'm watching because I'm away. I may not have watched a lot. But it's just basically talk about like the global success of movies and how I think the state of the current movie world is actually, which is a bit strange because obviously physical media, we've seen so many articles about them dying, not releasing a lot of stuff anyway that is being released, limited sales. A lot of people talking about cinemas going under and everything, and it all leads to big. So I've kind of based this on the whole Barbie thing. So Barbie, it made over $1 billion. Of this recorded, I think it's 1.5 billion. It's at somewhere around that market. I'll put a little picture up to show you. Obviously, in the Warner Brothers, this is where it sits. So it's the #1 film for Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers have never made a better film than this. Obviously, Harry Potter and the Deadly Hallows Part 2 sits behind that, then Aquaman, and then The Dark Knight Rises. So quite a diverse set of roles. You kind of got superhero and fantasy. They're all fiction. There's nothing, but fiction we know does sell because that is kind of the whole or a big chunk of movie. There isn't much factual stuff. There are movies that are made realistically or based on true events, and they do well, but they don't do amazingly well. Probably because it only adheres to a certain amount of people, or people only want to explore that subject matter. So Barbie is up there. I've seen the movie. I put a review. You can go see that. I'll try and maybe put a link down below. Otherwise, it's on my channel, my movie reviews. And I thought it was an okay movie. Now, it's at 1.5 billion, which is staggering to me. I've spoken with a few people, their concept is, like this was released in summer, it's applied to a lot of girls. It's Barbie. Barbie has been around for years, so there's so many people who apply to. Anybody who's been on the internet or been around the internet has seen that loads of people have been pulling their partners to go see it, which is boosting stuff, and I think this is part of it. Yes, it may be clever marketing for them. And obviously trends are putting it in, but I don't think, and I think really the mindset for me, and I've been quite furious and I've realised I need to step away from the fact that all because a movie makes $1.5 billion doesn't make it a great movie. It doesn't necessarily even make it a good movie. Like, I thought Barbie was okay. Yes, I probably would class it as good. I think it was mishmash of a lot of elements, and to me that's nah. I don't think it is powerful enough to continue on the franchise. I think whatever follows Barbie, if there's a Barbie 2 or stuff, I don't think it will be anywhere near as good as that. Classing this is only a good movie. I could be totally wrong. I might be sitting in a few years, eating my own hat, as they proverbially say. So, I say and it's very interesting that when you compare it to Warner Brothers' highest grossing movies, everything below it is a franchise movie, and it's not just a franchise movie, it is almost an end of line. So obviously Barbie's #1, obviously 2, Deadly Hallows Part 2, so it's Harry Potter. So Harry Potter had 6 movies, 7, before the Deadly Hallows, so and that ran for like the best part of 10 years. So it built up that fan base to deserve it. So in that, in my mind, it's kind of, I don't think it is the greatest film out of the whole set, but it is the ending of the story, so it's the combination of all these years, so people wanted to go, so of course it would have that hype, and I kind of get that. Then we go down to the next one, which is Aquaman, which is surprising that obviously I didn't realise Aquaman was that high up, like the 3rd highest grossing movie they've ever released. Now, I loved Aquaman, the movie. I thought it was really good. I loved all the elements of it. It wasn't a perfect film, but it was a nice distance from the rest of the DCU in my eyes. I really liked the special effects. I thought all the casting was done really well, and I must admit it was a better use of Aquaman than what he's really been used in the rest of the DCU, except for the Justice League maybe. And that's Zack Snyder's Justice League, not the normal Justice League. But that is. And then you go down to Dark Knight Rises. So the 3rd of the Batman film. Again, a film that wouldn't necessarily be classed as the greatest of movies, but it was a franchise. It was Nolan's end to his trilogy. He was just coming on the back of Obviously the Joker's appearance and Heath Ledger's death, so there was so much hype after the second one that you could kind of understand why the third made so much money, because so many people wanted to go see it. But again, it doesn't necessarily make it a brilliant movie. It's just there is more hype there, and I think this is what Barbie has gotten to, and this is what the whole point of this is. You know, I don't feel in this day and age we can distinguish. It made this amount of money, it's a great movie. Hype, you know, social media, a lot of other things that necessarily weren't around when earlier movies were released. And the one thing I kind of wanted to go over was I went worldwide, went to statistics, and basically did got the average costs of cinema tickets, just to see if that was a factor, you know, because cinemas tickets there's deals out there, but predominantly, like anything, it goes up. And yes, so Barbie, there hasn't been a fixed figure for this year because this year has not finished, but at the end of last year the average ticket was £7.66, that was, so it's the highest it kind of has been. Then we go to Harry Potter, that was 2011, it was only just over £6 for a cinema ticket. So only £1.50 difference, which isn't that much. I mean, obviously there are places and super screen and that where it goes really expensive. Aquaman was only a few years ago, that was £7.14. And then obviously Dark Knight Rises was £6.88. So from 2011 to 2012, there was like 70-80p average increase, and this is obviously average costs. So because I know Cineworld and stuff have bunked a lot of their prices down, obviously you have like Cinema Days and Meerkats, you can't ever factor that in. I think it's the same way of saying about the hype. I will use this as an example. Obviously, we have the movie Black Panther. There was massive hype around that. Celebrities were buying out cinemas to encourage people, to give them free tickets to basically go see the film, because they maybe weren't in a position to go see it. Now, for my eyes, if a celebrity goes, here's a free cinema ticket to go see an action movie, you're going to go whether you enjoy it or not. But obviously then that would give a false pretense, oh, it's making loads of money, it's the best. And I think this is the sort of mindset we have to get away from. So yeah, so there is that. But obviously Barbie has done so well, and this is kind of the main subject of this matter. And then you look, Barbie is now sitting as the 15th highest grossing movie of all time, which, you know, again, you look at the movies, and I will go through like almost the top 10. So the top movie is Avatar. Number 2 is Endgame, because we know they had the big fight. Avatar 2 sits at 3, which I didn't realise it did. A really, really amazing movie in my eyes. Titanic. Then we have Star Wars Force Awakens. I think that one will be a bit question mark with the fans on that. Again, hype probably got that, but it's a franchise. Infinity War sits beyond that. Obviously, I think the Marvel films, they've spent the best part of 6-7 years building up these ones, so I think hype and how good all the other movies were, you know, they are very good movies. Then we have No Way Home, absolutely amazing, but again, it took about 10 movies to kind of build the franchise up to the point. Jurassic World, so yeah, not Jurassic Park, but Jurassic World, again, hype and thing over. And then number 9 is The Lion King, which is the remake. And I think most people agree that it made loads of money. I think it made like 1.67 billion, maybe even more. But I barely hear a good review of that movie. And me, I'm a big Lion King fan, and I hated that movie. They changed so much of it, the CG and the cast, and how they went with some of the stuff just was wrong. They put too many people on a bigger platform, and it should have been more about Simba and his story, and maybe just develop that. But that's, again, personal opinion. So yeah, so there we have kind of an overview of it. I really would be interested in people's views below, because I say, yes, Barbie's made loads of money, but doesn't make it a good movie. It just means it was the right movie at the right time, with maybe a lot of good promotion, and hats off to it. As I say, it would be very interesting to where the franchise goes, and I would be very interested a year's time that when it is released, how many copies it actually sells, how many people want to go back and actually watch this movie. Kids, possibly, even though they won't get a lot of the adult tones and themes of this, and a few other bits. But there we go. So it's kind of a food for thought. Hopefully you enjoyed this really random episode of me going on. Yes, Barbie made $1 million. Is it a great movie? No, it's not. Yeah, let's not put costs against movie. Let's just rate movies for what they are. And I say, give it 5 years and I'll be very interested. Hopefully I'll still be on YouTube and I'll do a follow-up to see where Barbie is and what the viewpoints are. But otherwise, I've been Cypher Sigma. Hopefully you enjoyed this random Wednesday video and I shall see you in the next one.